Hello, and welcome back to SpaceChem. My OBS settings all got messed up, and I had to reset everything, so if anything looks different or weird today, that is the reason why. Anyway, defense. No need for instructions. Final mission. Let's see what this one's like. I hesitated to press the taupe intercom outside of his office. There was a muffled voice speaking inside the room, but it did not sound like Joel. As I withdrew my hand, the door opened, as if on command. The room was lit only by the sun blazing in through the window. All I could see of Joel was his silhouette. Come into the light, and let me show you the truth. The words echoed in my ear. Somehow, I knew they were unspoken. As Joel splayed his arms, a wave of pain blasted through my head. I clutched my ears as my heart heaved. The pain transformed into a rasping voice. Behold the healing power of the stars. Joel lurched out of the light. His face had disappeared, replaced by an expanse of tight puckers where his eyes and mouth had been. His skin was raw and pink. His beard had been stripped from his jaw and replaced by a shiny strip of scar tissue. His ears began to twitch. Together, we can know the truth. Together. Agony warped my thoughts as white lights flashed behind my eyes. I crushed my hands against my head and banged my knees as I staggered to the floor. Joel's crumpled face was seared in my mind. A hand grasped my shoulder and shoved me onto the ground. Through the ringing, I heard the cock of a revolver, a gunshot, and the sound of something wet slumping against the floor. The ringing stopped as I regained my sight. I opened my eyes to see Joel's body in a heap. A leather shoe towed Joel's faceless body, turning the blank face to the floor. I looked up. There was a man in a charcoal suit holding an antique revolver with silver embossing. He paid no attention to me as I grunted and pulled myself up. I suggest you get ready, he said as he pocketed the gun. I blinked. For what? I'm heading to the particle accelerator lab. He stepped over Joel's corpse and stopped in the doorway. Aim for the eye. The door closed as he sprinted through the hallway. I brushed myself off, turned around, and jumped at the sight of the giant hovering pyramid outside. It stared back at me with its gargantuan eye. Alright, that took a turn. Also, giant pyramid with an eye. I think this is the box art enemy, I guess, or whatever it is. There it is. Korok. There's something or other that I will see on review. So we have water, and tainted water, but it's tainted in a different way, in equal portions. And we need hydrogen peroxide to increase the power of the particle accelerator, and uranium to fire a particle doing damage relative to the power. We have a storage tank again. An unnatural reaction has replaced some of the hydrogen atoms in the water with uranium. Okay. Typically used for scientific research, the high-energy particle stream emitted by accelerators can deliver a devastating quantity of energy. Alright, let's look at ratios. Contains the highly unstable and proprietary SpaceChem reaction mediation device. Okay. Nothing about you. So we have 3 hydrogen to 3 uranium to 3 oxygen in completely equal ratios. So we were going to end up with a 2-to-1 ratio of uranium to hydrogen peroxide, which is going to be fine, I think. This thing, I wonder if it needs an even distribution. Storing up to 25 molecular units. Since not all reactions proceed at the same rate, storage tanks are used to temporarily store the intermediate products. Okay, but we don't have a... We don't have a recycler. Which means we need to be able to beat the mission. Okay, well... 4 reactors is going to be messy. First... Oh, I can't put it there, okay. Let's start with something like that. And I guess what makes sense, kind of do the same thing we've been doing on the other parts of this planet, is we split this up into atoms. We always know where the oxygen is, so it's really easy just to send the oxygen one way and hydrogen and uranium the other. But that's not what we want to do. So I think what we're actually going to do oops. Give ourselves lots of room to work in. Is we're going to send hydrogen and oxygen up this way. Since we know oxygen, oxygen's easy to send. We don't know hydrogen, but we can use our sensor, because this is a sensor reactor. We can use our hydrogen and uranium separated off. So we now have uranium coming here, and hydrogen and oxygen coming here. We can then use this to separate the hydrogen up one way and oxygen up the other, and do that. It's a little bit dangerous. It would be nice to have a little bit of a buffer. I guess I could just put 2 storage tanks here. You know what? We have them. Let's use them. This essentially extends my pipe by 25. Don't know if that's necessary or not, but you know, it's a thing we can do. We are getting equal amounts of each, so this is probably completely unnecessary, but I wanted the pipe to at least be length 3. I mean, I could have just moved this back. Anyway, we have the storage tanks. That's fine. It'll work. So this should produce hydrogen peroxide. Alright, so we have hydrogen peroxide coming here, we've got uranium coming here. It is labeled 1 and 2, so I'm assuming that those have to go into those specific spots, but that's fine. I think this will work. In fact, this looks really simple, and I'm not even using all the reactors, so maybe this mission's just really easy. I mean, if it's at all like that last defense mission, the defense missions are not. Okay. Lower output is uranium. Upper output is going to be hydrogen and oxygen. To finish that thought, yeah, the previous defense mission was super easy. I don't imagine they're all going to be that easy, but these probably, because there's the real-time aspect and you're not being scored on it, I wouldn't be surprised if these are just kind of bonus little fun things and not something that's actually all that difficult. Right. Hydrogen, oxygen, uranium. These have been separated nicely. This then makes hydrogen peroxide. Bothers me still that I can't move this. Hydrogen peroxide was just HHOO and all single bonds, or is there a double bond between the oxygens? Nope. That's what it looks like. Okay. So now if I click on this, yeah, it goes to uranium. Here it goes to hydrogen and oxygen. Can't do anything with those. Hydrogen comes in, oxygen comes in, and okay. Oh, that works. Doesn't even look all that messy. Okay, let's go to Reactor 1. So all we're doing here is we are separating our input. They're all single bonds. This is actually pretty easy. Like, there's nothing complicated going on here at all. We're just going to use only blue for this. I should say, one way that this could go wrong is once I actually activate it, I might have a really tight time limit. And if that's the case, then being super inefficient about this could be an issue. Alright, well, input. Debond. Grab. Go all the way around here. At this point, you need to check, are you hydrogen or are you uranium? If you are hydrogen, go north. Go up. Yeah. And if you're not, keep going this way. Drop. Drop. Like that. So this is a pretty simple thing. We've done this sort of thing before. Just working as it should. I don't anticipate any issues here at all, honestly. Again, timing being the only thing that could potentially play a role, since this is a real-time mission and not a, you know, just take your time, do whatever sort of mission. Okay, so with this, about that, I think that's fine. I'm looking at this, but we are going to use red. So everything, in fact we can be up here, that's fine. Everything will be debonded by the time we get here. Oops, so we're gonna grab. We know that this goes here. Grab. And we're just gonna do the same thing. Let's just move this over a little bit. Drop. Drop. Output. Does that do everything? I think this does everything that I need it to do. That's a potential issue. Okay, there was a complication. There's always a complication. It's fine. We will just do that. There we go. That should fix it. That's going to be a problem because I needed... Getting these sinks to work. I need this one to wait until blue has gone. Okay, so we just put the sink out here. Yeah, no, that's fine. Put the sink after the input, and we're good. Potential collision here. Okay. Collision between atoms not... okay. We need there to be another sink here. Let's just see what this looks like. I'm a little bit worried about these. I think they're always going to be out of place. Okay, something just happened. That's a potential issue. We do have these controls as well. We could do to delay things if we have to. I'm not too concerned about that because... Okay, lots of time. Just making sure that this works as intended. Okay, let's just get this cycle done. Okay, so let's just look at what's going on here. Alright, so it's doing stuff. I wonder if it's ever going to be an issue. Well, eventually this is going to clog. The pipe's going to clog, so I can't probably test it. Yeah. Okay, and that's also good to know. So, this will clog up if I'm not doing stuff here. However, this is going to be a much longer cycle than this, I imagine. Because all this is doing is taking our inputs if we have hydrogen, we send it up. Like this is just the same structure again. Drop, drop, grab input, and then we need to output. Right, and that should be fine. And in fact, if I need to speed this up, or if I wanted to speed this up, which I kind of do, I think I'm just going to repeat it on red. Now repeat the whole thing. And then to stagger it, I'm going to relocate the start. But the relocated start is going to also be synced. So we're going to start this one here. And basically, once we've grabbed it, does that make any sense? Coming eventually. Okay, it goes. Oh no, this is a problem. Because now it's going to get torn apart when it comes in. Oh no, it's going to wait. Okay. Right, because both inputs need to go. Input red goes, but then input blue does not. Okay. And at the rate that they're coming in, I'm not sure how much I need to wait. Okay, those two came in pretty quick after each other, so it's going to depend on what's going on. But anyway, I think that's pretty good, the way that's set up. That worked pretty nicely. Okay, here. And now the only other thing is whether or not I need to be using controls at all, because I don't understand the particle accelerator's behavior. If I'm just inputting stuff into it over and over, or if I need to be able to control the ratios in some way. So we're just going to assume we don't control anything, and then I can figure out how to get the controls to work afterwards if the initial part does not work. Okay. Again, we can do... We don't need the sensor at all. We're just going to put this in this position. We're going to start with oxygen because I think it being on the outside is a little bit harder to deal with. So let's grab here, input here, input, grab, Input grab. I'm trying to avoid running... Trying to avoid running a line across where the... Oh, I just did hydrogen instead of oxygen. Whoops. Right, you're going in the middle. Okay, and that's why we wanted you to go first, because this is going to be a little bit awkward otherwise. So drop here. I mean, I don't have to be awkward about it. I could just go around like this, and yeah, it'll use a few extra commands, but that's fine. Yeah, that's totally okay. Actually, that looks pretty elegant. So we're grabbing, and we're never worrying about collisions here, so the only thing I have to worry about is collisions of while they're in motion. And that's easily solved with some sinks at some point. Since we need an equal number of everything and we don't know what ratio we're getting them in anyway. Alright, so input, grab. I do need some drops, of course. Drop. Drop. Do not need an output necessarily. Right, so here's where it makes sense to have a sink. Make sure, and then we're going to bond on Q, bond once, and output. Okay. So this sync will happen once red is done. So for red, well, obviously input grab. And we don't want to run along the same line if we can help it. I don't know, I'm not going to be too concerned about it, I think. There we go. I'm not going to be too concerned about it, I'll just rely on sync commands to fix that. So input, input, grab, grab. Input grabs here, oops, and then drop, drop. So grab, drop, come around, grab, drop, come around. So once we've dropped this, everything is good to go. And at this point, we have everything in position. So now and we're getting an equal ratio of both of these coming in, so it's not like there's going to be that much of a backlog. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to throw two sinks like this, and that way this one's going to be done before this one starts going. So this one's going to come here. This will then go in here. Don't have to worry about any collisions at all at this point. Yeah, okay. That should just work. Still don't know what's going on with the laser. Okay, we got both in here. I had an extra oxygen and an extra hydrogen, not too much of a weight. Think out. So what's this going to look like? Put it in. Does this just solve the puzzle? Okay, so what's happening here is that this goes down over time. So we need to stockpile a bunch of stuff. We're gonna get a game over here. It's fine. Alkanost has been lost. Wait, did I just lose all my progress? The Defiler Alchemist. Okay. Okay, so everything is ready to go. The only thing to consider then is my speed too slow? Is that the issue? Like I don't quite know what my issue is here. My speed is too slow, or I need to put more in all at once. I think this is the problem. Like I have a solution here. It's just not fast enough somehow. Would using a like using the manual control. I mean, using the manual control, I could just not use sensors at all, right? And just manually watch what's going on and direct them that way. So, I mean, let's look at this again. This is slow because we have this second loop going around. It takes a lot of time. So how would we... Basically, this is halving our output because of the way we set this up. We should be able to do this twice as fast. If we did it twice as fast, though... then we'd have to start sending more stuff in. I don't know. I don't know how I want to deal with that. And I really don't see how these branch controls are useful here at all. Because I don't need more than a single sensor for what I'm doing. So, I mean, I guess I could... Does this even work? Don't have enough space because of this. Well, like I said, I don't think I need these. Let's just do that. I think that's more than enough. Even do that if I'm at all concerned about it. Which I'm not, because they're clearing it out completely. But anyway, we'll do that because it looks neat, I guess. This... wait. Ah, okay, this is right. Yeah, so this is my new reactor. This is Reactor 4. And the only reason I'm running this is so that I can play around with this thing. What's it, F1? There we go. So I can have this sitting here like this. And just wait for it to stockpile, and then once it's stockpiled, I can do this. And release it. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if this actually makes a difference. Alright. Grab. Here, this is fine to drop it from here, it doesn't matter. It is technically off one from this, but it's not going to matter for this. Input. Output. And that's probably fine, actually, just like that. Oh. That's important, though. Control 1. Alright. So we got a bunch of these all set up to go. So now if I do this, what happens? Oh. Stop. How do I manage that? And one more time. Okay, we're gonna wait until we have about 5 of them. Okay. Voltage goes down when we input the uranium. So what we actually want to do is not be wasting the uranium then. So I've got this backwards. This thing is supposed to be for uranium, not for hydrogen peroxide? No. What was that called? Hydrogen peroxide, yeah, that's right. It was the equal ratio. But then what's HO? Isn't HO also hydrogen peroxide? Or is that hydrogen monoxide? Maybe. Okay. Right, so because this one is slower, I think we just want to put this in here. And do that. Okay, let's put this back so I'm not having so much trouble with this. There we go. Why do we have a little bit of voltage there? I don't like this. If this doesn't work, then I have to basically redesign the first reactor. Because you can see I'm not dealing with these nearly fast enough. Also, I should put a storage tank here. I should definitely put a storage tank here. Yep. Whoops. You get to go away. You move you. That. That's a mess, but that'll work. There we go. Oh. Everything keeps getting messed up. There we go. That'll do it. Finally test this thing. Does it go down over time? So I don't know if... fixing the beginning of it made any difference. I'm thinking not. Okay, that worked somehow. I guess just because I wasn't wasting those initial shots, so I didn't have to redesign that first reactor. Alright. Obviously what I would have done, though, is tried to find a more efficient way of dealing with those initial inputs. But I guess I didn't have to. I'm now a senior reaction engineer. Okay. The air reeked of a nauseating mixture of gun smoke and decaying flesh. I was sprawled over the console in Joel's office, where his faceless body lay 3 meters from my station. The whispered echoes of the monster that had possessed Joel swirled in my mind, but I ignored them, knowing that the monster was as dead as Joel. Bruce entered the office, his suit rumpled and creased. "I'm closing this place down," he said. I gawked at him. All I could think of was the massive floating pyramid that had just been hovering outside. "What was that thing?" I asked. "An anomaly." "You call that an anomaly? Half the crew is dead. The base is in ruins." "It's a tragic circumstance of our work." He folded his hands together and bowed his head. There was a moment of silence, but I very much doubted it was to mourn the lost. Bruce tapped his index fingers together and glanced at Joel's body. "You'll be transferred to SpaceChem in a day or 2. He slid his wrinkled jacket off his shoulders and laid it over Joel's head to hide the wound. "Strange things happen out here. People die. We do what we can. We cannot let these setbacks stop our work." My skin went cold when he finished speaking, and I nodded to him. He grinned at me as if to say, "You understand," and left. Alright. SpaceChem. Well, this looks like an unpleasant planet. This looks also shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. Instead of 6 and 1 for the challenge. Okay. Nice to meet you. Starting with a nice pun, are we? Relatively short, only a single reactor. This is definitely going to be another tutorial mission. I wonder what the new gimmick's going to be for this planet. I guess we'll find out next time. I will see you then.